information breaking overnight on the friend that James Comey entrusted with his memos on President Trump, Daniel Richmond in his name, confirming to Fox News that he worked as an unpaid SGE, that's a special government employee on behalf of the FBI during Comey's tenure there as director. Judge Michael Mukasey was the Attorney General under George W. Bush and is with me in studio, and nice to have you back here.
Good to
on
be here.
America's News. And people are saying that Comey leaked and it was illegal. If Daniel Richmond was a part of it, did he leak also? Are they both guilty?
Well, if Comey gave the memos to Richmond to leak, then obviously Richmond's a participant. But the issue for me is really Richmond is a member of a faculty. He's on the law faculty at Columbia University. I don't know whether they knew that he was a special government employee. I just think that that's something that a university would want to know when one of their faculty is out expressing opinions and views and so forth.
Well, you know Richmond, right?
I do.
You used to work with him?
I used to work with him. Bright guy, nice guy. Nothing bad to say about it.
Your circles, I mean, they crisscross everywhere. We found this picture from 2008 with you and President Bush and then FBI Director Bob Mueller at one point here. So that was 2008. I think there is, I find, such a cross-current of information that's hitting people all the time and from so many various angles. Take it up top a little bit for us. Have you seen evidence of collusion? Where are we on that argument as of today?
As of today, we are in the same place that we were at when the investigation started. We know that the Russians hacked they hacked the Democrats, they hacked one of their functionaries. We know that. A bunch of Russians have been indicted for doing that. But there's nothing about, if there's no connection been made between that and any activity by the Trump campaign.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
You've seen the Comey memos, as we did as well last week. Is there a case for obstruction based on what you've seen yet on there?
No, because if Comey felt that he was put upon, you would expect to find that in the memos. He recounts conversations in which the president said, among other things, if there's anybody around me who's doing anything wrong, I want you to continue that as well. So it's highly ambiguous. It certainly is not an obstruction case.
Okay, so far now, I'm hearing you as a former Attorney General go 0 for 2 on some of the biggest claims we've been watching for 2 years. Case number 3, the Michael Cohen matter here in New York. What's concerning about that?
Well, what's concerning about that is that there's been a search warrant issued for his premises, which means that some judge has found that there is probable cause to believe that there is evidence of a crime to be found at those premises. What the crime is, we have no idea.
Okay. If that is the case, what is the legal jeopardy for the president in all 3 things that I have just mentioned to date?
The legal jeopardy for the president is something that I can't yet perceive. Certainly Mr. Cohen is close to him. If Mr. Cohen has bad information about the president or information about the president having participated in a crime with Mr. Cohen, because if the president consulted him about a crime, then he can't disclose that. That's privileged information. So people talk about Cohen flipping, but what crime is he going to flip about? There has to be information about the president that's disclosed that amounts to a crime in order for that flip to mean anything. And I haven't seen any suggestion of what it might be.
I mentioned the circles are very tight among you and others from Washington and New York City. Rudy Giuliani, a friend and a colleague, now works for the president. What do you think the significance of that appointment is, or higher?
Well, I've known Rudy for upwards of 40 years. He's a very good friend, and the one thing that I've always admired him for is the fact that he has about the most focused mind of anybody I've ever worked with. He gets right to the middle of things. And he is the kind of guy who could sit down and have a conversation in which he goes to the heart of the issue with regard to the investigation of the president and tries to separate sheep from goats and find out whether they're any sheep or goats.
Well, Ken Starr said he's the best lawyer in the country for this job, with his connection to the Southern District in New York regarding the Michael Cohen matter and also with the president of Washington.
He has the kind of mind that's perfectly suited to this because he goes right to the center and doesn't stay around the periphery.
And you would agree, as a colleague and a friend?
I would.
Is there something the president needs to worry about waking up today as you see all the headlines that have been blasted out on newspapers, websites, and cable news?
I don't know about worried about. I haven't seen anything concrete. What I would be upset about if I were the president is all these people speculating about all the information that somebody could disclose if there were information. I mean, it's kind of like the guy who tells you, you know, if we had some ham, we could have some ham and eggs if we had some eggs. There's nothing on either end of that.
Enjoy your breakfast. Thanks for coming in.